Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 127 of Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone, brought to you by Celozo. And today we're going to be talking about the most powerful way to launch and rank your products for your Amazon business with Michelle Barham-Smith, the CEO of Easybot. What's up?
Hey, guys.
Thanks for coming. Oh, yeah. What I'm already intrigued. I can't wait to learn the most powerful way to launch any products. That's a great.
It is not an overstatement. I see results all day long, and I'm happy to bring the knowledge to the table today.
Yeah, and we're pumped too. We want to. But before we even do all that, we want to learn a little bit about you. For everybody who's listening who hasn't heard of you or hasn't heard of Easybot, give us you got the floor. Give us your story on what got you into this space and how you started Easybot.
Oh, well, I was born at a young age, and so I've been doing marketing for over 20 years, and back in 2012, I quit the corporate career. I had a whole career in high-tech marketing and worked with many of the Fortune 100 and some of the biggest businesses in the world, and got married and was starting my own family. And so I wanted to have more control over my time, more flexibility, right? The entrepreneur's dream. Mm-hmm. And so I started my own marketing agency in 2012. And I had a lot of iterations through the years. As any business owner will know, your businesses go through these iterations. And at one point, I was a dating coach. I was teaching marketing skills to single people to help them move the product. I was doing all of these things, and finally, just like doubled down and focused on like digital marketing and helping people build out like digital marketing funnels. And I was super frustrated because marketing is like the super sexy side of the business, where people are like anxious. Business owners are anxious to try new marketing trends or shticks, or be like, should we be doing TikTok? Should we be doing, all of these things? Marketing is fun, right? Mm. But it's also like shiny object syndrome. Like there's new things that pop up all the time. And it's also where money and time gets spent. And there's very little, I guess, like, accountability, we'll say. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, we're going to try this and see if it works. Well, people spend all this time and money and effort. So we were building these digital marketing funnels for clients, and it was just taking forever to get to market. And I got really frustrated because like I'm a person of integrity, and I want to see results for my clients, not just build them these engines. I want to like fuel their businesses, right? And it was in early 2017 that I saw my first marketing chatbot. Previous to that, chatbots had been kind of relegated to the support world, the support arena, right? So in the customer support world, it previously was live agent based, where it was just like, hey, we're answering the same 10 questions over and over and over again. How do I reset my password? How do I do this? How do I do that? And so chatbots were born out of necessity to address those kind of frequently asked questions. And so in 2017, I saw my first marketing chatbot, which was like an ad on Facebook promoting some webinar, some activity, some lead gen type thing. And I clicked on it, and like Messenger popped up, and it was this automated one-on-one communication happening in my Facebook Messenger. And I was like, hold up, like, what is this sexiness? And I like leapt in. I like threw my old business away, fired all of my employees, and was like, nope, we're taking a hard right turn here, and doubling down into chatbots. And I learned as much as I could, as fast as I could. If you guys are familiar with Upwork is like a freelance marketplace. I was the first freelancer on Upwork to offer chatbots, and created the chatbot category for Upwork. And very quickly, I had kind of these early adopters of chatbots, lawyers, doctors' offices. I had the largest natural birthing class expert in the world, had me build a chatbot that, did pregnancy weekly updates. Your baby is now the size of a prune, like those kinds of things. So we built this like 41-week chatbot type thing. And then later in 2017, I had my first Amazon seller approach me and say, hey, I want to do chatbot. And I was like, I thought Amazon sold products. What is this? And so I really kind of like, it was my first experience learning that there was like the wizard behind the curtain are all these individual sellers, right? Mm-hmm. And I learned very quickly from all of my life experience up to that point that there was an opportunity here, and having built a digital agency, you learn that efficiency creates profitability. And I learned in working with the Amazon seller and subsequent Amazon sellers that they all want the same thing. You're wanting to launch new products, re-rank existing listings, and increase reviews. And it was the same thing kind of like over and over again, right? And that you guys all talk to each other and you all share information. So I just basically got passed around from seller to seller to seller. Oh, you got to work with Michelle. Oh, you got to work with Michelle. And so very quickly, I was pioneering the use of chatbots for the Amazon sellers and for the FBA private label marketplace. And here we are. I mean, it seems like so long ago, right? 2017, and so much has happened since then, and so much has changed. But here we are. That's kind of the journey.
I'm with you. I remember when they first came out, and it was like a light bulb moment, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can do this!" And I could send it to people on Facebook, and it's like, "Okay, I'm going all in on this." And back then, it was like free for all, like 2016-ish, 17-ish. I'll probably get my years mixed up, but I remember when it first came out, it was like a free-for-all. Yeah. You could blast everybody. You could throw everything out there.
Oh, for sure. I tell people Facebook is a drug dealer. They give it to you for cheap. They give it to you for free. They get you hooked. And then they change the deal, right? Then they start charging.
And you knew it was coming. Like you just knew it was coming.
For sure. People are all like hurt when like some significant changes happened in early 2020. In early 2020, they had been promoted since like early 2019, but Facebook finally started like implementing those changes, and people are all like hurt about it. And I was like, where have you been? Like, this is how Facebook does business. Like, it's a pay to play, environment. So, we went from like, early engagement to Wild West and people just being able to do whatever, whenever, to very regulated, still significant opportunities, but you have to know what you're doing or you're going to get shut down fairly quickly.
Yeah. And I remember going on a webinar. I forget who it was. It might've been you. I mean, there's so many webinars, but someone's like, wait till marketers get a hold of this. It's going to go crazy. And then sure enough, like it blew up and people, when you start to build, like when you were building your own flow, it was pretty simple back then because there wasn't a lot of like rules, like things that happen. You just kind of like make one flow to the next flow and kind of just go on and pass it on. And now there's so many different like 24-hour rules. They have to tag messages. There's all this different stuff that comes into play. And now it's just like, I don't even do it anymore. Give me a service. I just need somebody else to do it. It's ridiculous. It's too hard. I just want to find products and launch them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And things have definitely changed, significantly just both in the last year, as well as what sellers are using chatbots to do. So maybe we can take a little take a step back and talk about like, early on in 2017, 2018, you could rank, your listings just using coupon codes and traffic. And Amazon pretty much was just like, you can still do that to this day, but coupons don't have as much ranking benefit as full price purchases that mimic an organic buying experience. And so over the years, the strategies for ranking and launching shift significantly. And so it's really important that people listen to podcasts like yours and go to your YouTube channel and do these things to stay on top of what's working now, because we know that Amazon changes on the daily. So if people are watching some YouTube video on how to rank on YouTube from like 2019, sorry guys, that's like, that's old info.
It's so
true. Right. Because people will still come to me and be like, oh, I watched a webinar that you did with MiniChat back in 2019, but it doesn't work anymore. And I'm like, because it was 2019, like, right, we're in a new place, son. Like inventory limits, like we're in a new place, new time, right? So it's always important to stay on top of what's working right now. So, basically what we're seeing and what's working right now are full price purchases with as much organic appearing behavior as possible, so that Amazon, essentially, so that traffic via those keywords is what drives the ranking. And maybe people are confused and maybe thinking like, well, hold up, how do chatbots actually help you rank? So maybe we could back up a second.
Yeah.
About
let's go rookie level real quick.
All right, rookie level, guys.
Yeah, like what are we doing? What's a chatbot? What's a circuit?
All right, let's start with like that kind of basic question. What's a chatbot? So chatbots are automated one-on-one communication. So you think about email and email marketing. I'm sure if you check your email inbox right now, you have a million emails from some business, and it's one to many, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty static. It's not automated. There's not a conversation that's happening there. They might as well be mailing you a postcard in the mail, right? There's no interaction there besides like some link that you can click on to buy soap or whatever it is that they're promoting, right? What's different with chatbots is that basically, it mimics the communication experience that most people prefer, right? Like if you mentally think, oh, I want to call this company and I want to wait on hold for an hour to talk to somebody, versus I want to chat with a live chat agent or somebody and be able to get an answer, question answered as quickly as possible. Which one do you prefer?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, the latter. Sometimes you just want to yell at somebody, but you just don't want to have to like waste your time to have to do that, right? And so that's basically what it comes down to, is that automated one-on-one communication. And so how chatbots are used by Amazon sellers is that essentially you take a chatbot platform like MiniChat. MiniChat is my chatbot platform of choice, and within their tool, you can drive traffic to your chatbots, just like you can with like, any kind of ad campaign. So typically you're going to take Facebook ads, you're going to promote your product and say, for limited time, get this for 100% off post-purchase rebate. And people are going to click on the ad, and Messenger is going to pop up and say, hey, Michelle, it looks like you want Dustin's great body sponge for 100% off post-purchase rebate. Click here to get started. You click get started and boom, you're opted in. I'm on Dustin's list at this point for future marketing campaigns. And I am now on my journey to buy the product and continue on. So essentially it's this step-by-step communication experience. Now, as part of the ranking benefit is there's a couple different strategies that you can utilize. Maybe you guys have heard of search, find, buy campaigns. Maybe you've heard of two-step URLs. And we can get into that in a little bit. But essentially what you're doing is you're sending that traffic through a keyword. So body sponge would be probably the keyword or whatever. And in a search, find, buy scenario, somebody is going to literally go to Amazon, type in those keywords and search for your listing, purchase the product, and Amazon is going to think that now A10 algorithm is going to think, oh, Dustin's product is relevant for this keyword. This ASIN is relevant for this keyword, and then your ranking is going to improve, right?
Yeah, and Dustin would be in charge of creating that flow after they click on the ad. That's where it gets a little bit complicated, because you can think it's like simple steps, but if somebody like misfires or it used to be, but there's so many different like avenues a customer can go. Like you can give them 2 keywords, you can give them 3 keywords, you can make them spin a wheel or something. Like there's so many different things you can do. That's where like having a tool like Easybot, I think, is going to be a lot better to use, because you're not going to miss those steps. It's just going to be like, hey, Michelle, here's my account. Let's do some of these, put these in my my MiniChat flow and let's go with it or something like that.
Right, so. Right. And not to scare the listeners or anything, but what people need chatbots to do today is so much more complex than what chatbots needed to do back in 2017, in 2018 and even 2000. Yeah. Like, I mean, rebates and that whole thing didn't really hit the system and hit the world big time until like late 2019. So it's been this like organic progression of testing and adapting and testing and adapting. And what Easybot essentially does, which is my software platform that sits on top of MiniChat, and it allows users to install our campaigns and our API calls and the things that you need the chatbots to do: automatic order verification, automatic rebate distribution, automatic review follow-up. All those kinds of things are built into the system for you within terms of service, within Facebook's terms of service, and within Amazon's terms of service to help you get results for your campaigns. And as users, you don't have to become a MiniChat expert. You don't have to be technical. In fact, we prefer you not to go into MiniChat at all. we have like one thing that you do as part of the setup process inside of MiniChat, and we're like, get out. Don't look around, don't touch anything, don't poke around, like exit, like start your traffic, start your Facebook ads. So that's been the progression. Like originally in 2017, I started off like as an agency, right? And a freelancer providing those services. And very quickly, I also started adding like a coaching level and teaching sellers how to do it for themselves, right? And then I had a course and a template collection, and now having a SaaS platform is just basically another extension of what I've always been doing, and that people have trusted me to help them do over the years. And it's been really interesting as well. I went to Prosper last week, and nice. It was awesome, guys.
We missed it. We've been talking about it. We should have went.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know, honestly, I don't know how many people actually like attended sessions, because I was just hanging out with the exhibitors and in the lunch area. But I mean, it was just so good to like reconnect in person with people. Mm-hmm. But the big thing that's happened, and the big players that are showing up this year, are the aggregators.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's been really interesting to see businesses that I worked on those early years have now exited, and the aggregators are now coming to us saying like, we have all these businesses and we need chatbots to help us grow them. And I'm like, oh, I remember that brand. I worked on that brand. I remember that brand. I might know exactly what needs to be done here.
That's cool.
I helped them get to where you bought them. So here we are. So it's a really interesting time to see kind of like the full circle of life and the kind of continuing on of what's going on there.
For the new seller to get like Easybot or to use MiniChat, what do they need to do first?
Well, the first thing you need to do is go to easybot.com and sign up. We do have like a $1 14-day trial. Like, you can run a whole entire product launch or re-ranking campaign in that time frame. Let's be honest. Like, that's like the length of time that you typically run a ranking campaign. So we're so confident that people are going to love it that we're only charging you $1 for it. Along with that, you will need a MiniChat Pro account. So, and we have a step-by-step process that we take you through during the sign up to help you like get the right systems in place and get things connected. You'll also need a Seller Central account. Right? You need to have a live listings, surprise, because we do connect at the API level with your Amazon Seller Central account. So those are kind of like the core things. From there, if you want, I can share my screen and I can take you through kind of like a quick setup. Because here's the thing, guys, is that I'm a marketer, right? I have not just in the world of chatbots, right? Not just in the world of dating, but like corporate high-tech marketing. I know the power and the importance of branding. And when I chose the name for my business, I knew that I would have nowhere to hide if it wasn't like you name something easy.
It better be easy.
It better be really easy.
Or I'm going to hear it. I'm going to hear it from people, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go through kind of like a sign-up process, and let's just hope in any demo situation, you're always crossing your fingers and being like, oh yeah,
everything works,
everything works. So anybody on the podcast, I'm gonna share my screen. Head over to the YouTube channel where you can kind of see what we're doing live.
Exactly.
All right, so let me share my screen. All right, I think that's the one.
Yep.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
There we go.
Can you just see my login screen?
Yep.
We can.
Instead of peering into eternity with all of my various. Okay. All right. So now my password is.
And they'll need a Facebook business page, right? Is that still necessary?
Sorry. A Facebook business.
Facebook business page. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you to even have a MiniChat account, you don't have to have a Facebook page, but you do have to have a Facebook page for what we're doing.
Okay.
Which is, obviously you're going to be running ads, you're going to be doing all these things. So let me just grab. I have so many logins that. Okay, so this is like once you have created your account, once you've connected everything, this is basically what it's going to look like. Although we are rolling out a new UI and UX here actually this weekend, so it'll look different as of Monday, but it'll still be pretty. It'll be even easier because that's our biz. That's how we do things. All right, so once you have your API connection set up to MiniChat, your API connection set up to Amazon, what you're going to do is you're going to come over here to underneath your dashboard or under campaigns and click on create campaign. Now, for rebate purposes, you're just going to click on installing the Easybot rebate campaign. And we're going to name this Dustin's Body Sponge.
That's our new product now, Dustin.
I guess I gotta go launch a body sponge now. It's the newest product.
And I'm going to select my MiniChat account that I've connected here and click on next. Now this is where kind of the rubber hits the road. This is where basically kind of like the content of the campaign is being input into your MiniChat account. And I have previously, let me see if I can do like a super fresh on an account that hasn't seen an installation in a while, because that would make, I want to show you like the MiniChat template setup.
Yeah. And for people listening, this looks so much easier. Like just going through put a campaign name, ID. Yeah. Just so much easier.
Right. Okay, so after you name your campaign, you're going to come here where it's going to say, okay, install this into your MiniChat account. I'm going to click install my MiniChat bot. And what's cool about this is that this flow, it's going to be hard to kind of understand what I'm saying here in a second, but if anybody has ever had experiences with installing MiniChat templates in the past, previously for every single campaign you'd install, you'd have to install a MiniChat template. And so pretty soon your MiniChat account is like overrun with all of these campaigns, all these flows. And you're like, which one is the actual one I'm working on here? And it's easy to get lost. It's easy to get frustrated. It would be the word. Okay. So we've reached this point in the setup. So we're going to stop here and we're going to come over here back into Easybot and we're going to click the next button. And once again, for my podcast friends, like, I don't know how best to describe this to you, but we're taking you step by step through here. So now that the template has been installed, essentially we're going to populate the template. Previously, you would have to go into the MiniChat flow, track down where you would enter all those keywords, update keywords manually, update leaks manually, do all of this manually. And it's really easy, especially with these complex, super complex flows, to miss something, to miss a tag, to miss a custom field, a bot field, break things essentially and not enter things correctly, right? And so this takes all of that guesswork out of it. It just makes it a really smooth, really easy process where it's like, these are the parameters that you can control. Everything else is built for you. You don't have to go into MiniChat and change anything, okay? So hopefully by now you should have done any kind of like keyword research specific to your listing, the keywords that you want to rank for, right? So we're going to say, body sponge, body wash. And I would recommend, these are, when we're just hyping in the words, they're going to be search, find, buy campaigns. I have some trainings that I do on when to do search, find, buy versus when to do a keyword URL. Basically, to dumb it down is if you are within position 1 to 40 of your target keywords, just type those keywords in because they're going to be easy to find. But if you're way out in BFE, if you're way out in no man's land, page 7, position 500, whatever it might be, average subscriber in a MiniChat campaign is not going to know where the heck to go. Basically, they're going to get lost. They're going to get distracted. They're going to go buy toilet paper instead. It's just going to be one of those things. So it's best to use two-step URLs in those situations. So we've put in and included a URL builder into Easybot so that you can easily create a two-step URL that essentially sends your traffic directly to your listing via that keyword. So we're going to just call this Dustin's Body Sponge. And we're going to weight these keywords, and I'm going to say body. What are those? Like loofah? I'm going to just type in. This has to have 10 characters. So there you go. Okay, can't go anywhere over. So you can have up to 6 keywords that you're like, okay, I'm launching a new product. I'm nowhere to be found for any of these. No worries. You can come in here and have any number of these and change the weight on these. Maybe this one's the bigger keyword and this one's not, right? So you can change kind of like the weight of those. So I'm going to generate that URL. I'm going to go back into my campaign and you'll see that I'm pasting this twice in. And that means for the time being, all the traffic is divided by 25% across each one of these positions. And so by taking up 2 spots, essentially we're saying, hey, we want 50% of the traffic to go to the URL, which is also weighted. So it's like a split within a split. All right. So does that make sense? We're just entering keywords and adding URLs. Is this easy so far, or is this
you're telling the tool what keywords you want to go after.
Yeah.
You put those in the campaign for your keyword tools, and then from there, those are going to be added to the search, find, buy, and those are what customers are going to type in to find your product.
Yeah. And what's cool about the system is that the system recognizes URLs, and if a URL is put in place, then it switches to instructions for a 2-step URL campaign versus search, find, buy. Yeah.
Yeah. If you did this manually, that would be a step you would miss. And then you would be like, what the heck's going on? You would get all these broken messages and it's a nightmare.
This is why I haven't done this before in my business I'm like, I've got too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
I can't, but this looks amazing.
Yes. I'm glad you say that because that's the highest compliment that somebody can give me after they've gone through this. They're like, you know what? That really was easy. And I'm like, oh. So
I also like how you talk about using whether you're doing a search, find, buy. It makes total sense to me. That's always crossed my mind. It's like a search, find, buy when you're on page 30 it's kind of rough. I mean, how many people are doing that and getting all the way there? That's good. That's a really good tip about when to use that versus your URL.
Right. And there's other things that you can do, but this is the most consistent. And it's just easier for me to make it black and white for people versus, well, you could try this, it just really is. And we're experimenting with some cool, this is like fresh off the presses, guys. We're experimenting with some cool Google search redirect URLs that mimic the traffic as if the traffic is coming from Google search.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're seeing some really good results with that. And so that will be coming soon. Okay. So continuing on, we've named, this is like customer facing. So we want to name it the brand name, the product, that sort of thing.
Put the product image in, put the product name in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's all done for you. You're not going to have to hunt through the flows to find where to add images or any of that fun stuff. Okay. So now we're getting to how long should we wait to request a review? If you don't want to request reviews at all, you just enter 0. But if you want, most of the time I'm like a 5-day girl. I'm like, I like it to be fairly recent so people remember, yeah, I bought that. Okay, so daily sales. Daily sales is typically like, well, how many sales through these keywords do you want or need to get traction. And a lot of that is going to be determined by how competitive your keywords are. You know, if you're just like, hey, I can only afford like 5 sales a day, but I'm going to go after, you know, body wash has like 200,000 monthly searches.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah.
That's realistic, right? Like, so pretty much average is 25 daily sales. And then max pending sales. This is a antiviral function. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it or experienced it. I have for all my clients, that like your ad takes off, maybe it ends up in some deal group or something like that. And all of a sudden, you know, you only want 5 sales a day and you have 200 people trying to get into your flow and get the offer. And that can like blow through inventory, you know, cause all sorts of problems. So pretty much what we're saying is like max pending sales is how many people are even allowed in the flow at a time. So typically what I recommend here is basically start at double the traffic, because not everybody who clicks on your ad is going to move forward. You know, we've never seen 100% conversion rate of people who actually click on the ad, actually complete the sale. There's always going to be some, you know, drop off. So if you're willing to go up to 50 sales a day, and maybe you're like, oh, that's freaky, let's start at 30. That's fine. You can always come back and change these. And I'll show you how easy that is to do in a second. But I just want to explain what this actually means.
I had never seen that before. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can show you some examples of how this works and protects campaigns, but it is very effective. All right, so the product ASIN itself, this is just to make sure during the purchase validation process that we're saying like, what product did you purchase? And let's just make sure that this matches your ASIN so that they're not buying, you want them to be buying Dustin's awesome body sponge, but they're out there buying, you know, Chris's toilet paper, you know.
I was waiting to see what you were going to come up with.
Yeah.
I didn't it's the end of the week, guys. My creativity is
body sponge and toilet paper.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So I generally recommend that you include tax with your rebates. Don't include shipping, and we're not going to do Venmo this time. Okay. As far as a payout method. All right, so here we are. The campaign parameters have been set. Now it's time to actually go back into our MiniChat account. And this is basically the one step that you're going to do inside of your MiniChat account for setup. You're going to take your campaign ID, and you're going to go back to the template that you installed, and you're going to view that template. And now we are in your you know, basically Easybot account. I always like to name the flow for the campaign. So I'm just going to say this, you know, call this Dustin's body sponge. Oh, actually, I don't want to do that. I'll just leave that here for now. Where I'm going to do that, I'm going to show you in a second. Because once again, even though my account has like a gazillion flows in it, it's just because it's like an account that I built flows in. It's not your accounts will never look like mine. I've only had that account for, you know, since 2017. All right. So what you're going to do here is you're going to come to your campaigns folder. And this is where the magic happens. This is basically the only thing that you're going to do inside of MiniChat for your campaign setup. You're going to duplicate this campaign. This is where I want to rename it because this is where the campaign actually lives. So I'm going to call this Dustin's body sponge. So if you have multiple campaigns running, you're going to go through and set up an Easybot campaign again and come in here, but it's not going to prompt you to reinstall the flow because it's already installed. I'll show you that in a second. So then what you do here, this is the only things that you have to do. And we have this kind of like 1, 2, 3, this is what you do instructions here. You're going to come over here and you're going to set the campaign ID. So we got this campaign ID here, right? You see that? So now I'm going to paste that ID in and I'm going to remove any kind of spaces and just double check. So essentially how this works is that you have these starting steps. This is where the traffic basically kind of connects your Facebook ad is going to basically connect to your MiniChat account. You're going to install some things inside of your Facebook ad campaign. And then as that traffic flows through here, MiniChat is going to check this and see this campaign ID field. And it's going to be like, hold up, I've got this API connection with Easybot, and it's going to go to Easybot, and it's going to pull all those campaign parameters, the keywords, the links, the URL, the images, the max daily number of sales, right? All of those things, and it's going to populate all of the rest of the flows associated with this campaign, of which there are many, but that I never want you to touch. I don't want you to look at. I don't want you to poke around in. Can I make this more clear? So this is like what you have to do. Also, you're going to come in here and you're going to change basically this. So we're going to say Dustin's body sponge, 100%. Oops, spell. And we can't, this is owned by Facebook ads, so we can't templatize this portion of it for you. You have to actually go in and type. I'm sorry, typing is such a pain. And that's it. This is all you do. This is basically MiniChat telling you, here is the actual code that you're going to use in your Facebook ad that will connect this MiniChat flow to your actual Facebook traffic. So that's it. That's all you have to do. Now, once you actually go in, and we have lots of trainings for you here on how to create Facebook audiences. We've got an ad copy template for you here that you can just customize. We've got graphic images for you here, ad graphic images that you can utilize, and a step-by-step setup for you. Once you set up your actual traffic, then where you live, this is like one of the most amazing things about Easybot is that before, when you run these campaigns, how did you ever know what your campaigns were producing for you? Mm-hmm. It's kind of this like crapshoot of like, well, okay, how many sales a day am I getting? And how many subscribers are in my campaign? And am I actually hitting my goals? Like, how do I know these things? Well, before you either had to, pray or make some like mighty Google Doc that you had to integrate. Well, now it's all built into the dashboard for you. And in addition to our Easybot, platform, we also have like our client division where we actually run, and have our agency and these things. And so our team lives in this all day, every day. And so if there's something not working, or if there's something that they're like, it'd be nice if, we're already ahead of it. We're already building those things into our tool. So anyway, when the campaign is running, you're going to see, okay, well, this is how many subscribers we have in this campaign. This is how many orders we have coming through. And you're going to see the things associated. Here's all the information for your campaign. This is the only image I had, guys. Sorry. Didn't have image of body sponges. So let's say that you're running your campaign, and very soon we're actually going to add to the dashboard a keyword ranking tracker as well. So you can see, okay, these are how am I ranking? And so it'll be one-stop shop as far as like all the information for the dashboard that you need. So in addition to that, let's say that your campaign's running, and lo and behold, you have ranked for body sponge, and you are happy. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. All right. So, and you want to change up your keywords, and you want to say, okay, we've got that keyword done. Now let's really, pour some traffic on this keyword. All you do is come in here and click update, and it's done. You don't have to go into your MiniChat flow. You don't have to dig around anywhere in the flows trying to track down where you want to change things. If you want to change your daily number of sales, your max pending sales, you want to make any of these updates, it's just as easy as clicking edit and coming in here and saying, you know what, we're doing really well with this keyword. I'm going to drop it to, a max daily number of sales of 15 and only let 30 people into the flow at a time. And done. It's just as easy as that. And then when the campaign is actually running, you're going to have all your subscriber data right here. You don't even have to go into MiniChat. We're tracking all the rebate information and all of that fun stuff. And if people are wondering, well, how are rebates actually generated and sent? We have a wallet system. So your money is automatically added to your PayPal account, essentially, or our PayPal account. We manage it all for you. You can either pull money from your PayPal account, or you can use a debit or credit card to add money to the wallet, which is immediately available. It's not in 5 to 7 business days. It's immediately, which is really helpful, especially when you're running a campaign and suddenly realize that your like wallet is running low and you have all these pending rebates who will get really upset with you if you do not like actually pay the rebate, right? So in a nutshell, this is a campaign. So let me show you, I told you earlier about kind of like viral protection. It sounds a little weird, but let me kind of show you an example of a live campaign that was affected by this. So we were running the ever popular cellulite cream. This was back in like February. So let me update this. I think this is around then. Okay, so can you guys see that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So essentially what we have here, and maybe I can change that to like the 10th, so it's a little bit bigger. Here we go. So what we had here was the client wanted a max number of six sales a day for the keywords that he was targeting. And it got into one of those scammy groups. You can see this. All of a sudden we have a jump in subscribers. This is how many people subscribed to the MiniChat flow. But you can see here that the system did its job and like protected the seller in their inventory. And I mean, I don't have to harp on how important it is to protect inventory right now. Right. So anyway, this is just an example of like how powerful our system is in protecting your, in protecting your campaigns and keeping everything going. And this is an example of like what the actual reporting looks like for the campaign. You can see, okay, here's a rebate here. Most of these are subscribers because remember we were getting 200 subscribers a day. So what's cool is we have a sellout loop that essentially triggers and says, hey, it looks like we sold out for the day. If you would like to get notified when we have more available, click here and opt into our SMS and we'll notify you when more are available. And we get all these people opting in. So we also have their phone numbers, their email addresses, and we're able to follow up with them directly. And in this example, what our team should have done is just shut off the Facebook ads after this, because we only need 6 sales a day. We could have just like that sellout loop could have just kept selling out essentially. People get a text in the morning and be like, oh, here's the deal is available. Click here to get it now. Hurry, that type of thing. So what do you think?
Super simple. I like how easy it is. You just throw in a couple of keywords, pick a couple of parameters, boom, boom, boom. Like knowing that how to do this in MiniChat and just seeing it here, this is an easier flow to go through. Because I can promise you're going to miss something if you do it by yourself in MiniChat.
And here's the thing, guys, is that we as experts, I created this because as an expert and using the tools that were available out there, like if it was hard for me, as an expert, what about all you poor Amazon sellers who, like you said, Dustin, you've got like enough going on. You're fighting the battle every single day. Like you don't need one more hard thing to have to figure out, to have to like learn and give up on, right? So, and
then you got this list now that you can then promote to other products. Like say, Dustin comes out with a bath brush instead of a sponge now. He can say, hey, I got a bath brush now. It's that same audience that bought the sponge.
You want to get into the consumable space, then you've got like you're rolling out your own organic body wash.
Yeah, there you go.
That's best used with your fancy sponge. So the sky's the limit, and it's definitely cheaper to have your own list that you can go back to and promote your offers to. So you create your own like launch ecosystem. And what's really interesting is that my M&A lawyer friends, my aggregator friends, that when they see that you have like a launch process and that it is consistent, it is effective, that greatly increases the value.
Yeah, that takes a step out of what they have to work on. It's already in place.
Right, exactly. You already have these systems and processes, and they can just plug into it and keep the good times rolling, right? So hopefully you guys can see just how easy it is to get started with chatbots and using chatbots to launch and rank and get results for your Amazon listings. And like I said, we have this $1 trial. Like, come on. You can rank your whole product in that time frame. So
yeah, just watching that was that took a lot of the edge away from me and jumping into. I mean, that looks so smooth, and just the things that you're talking about, because I think the built-in protection against like your inventory being liquidated with those offers, that's something that you would never, but at least if I tried to put a flow together, I wouldn't be able to validate that. Another thing you were talking about is integrating with the Amazon account. So you're validating the order.
Yeah.
All this stuff, and you set that campaign up in about a minute. So.
Well, and I was talking you through it, right? And I'm not saying it's going to take everybody 1 minute. We're going to have like, in the new UI release this weekend, it's going to look even easier. We're going to have video trainings everywhere for you guys. And we have a whole knowledge base and support team, that's there to guide you guys. We also have Easybot office hours every week. So you can hang out with me and Gustavo, my CTO, get to hang out with the actual experts, get strategy advice, get, tactical questions answered and all of that fun stuff. So we're really here to support our teams and help Amazon sellers really get results.
One thing I find is there's a lot of fraud that happens in this, where somebody will buy it and then they return it after they get the refund. Is there any type of protection built into Easybot to do that?
Yeah, we have a blacklist of over 1 million people.
Oh, wow.
When I say a million people, I doubt it's really that many people. I'm sure it's just a guy with 30 Facebook accounts, and 50 email addresses. Fraudsters, I think, and I was telling somebody this, it's really difficult to prevent fraud. You can slow it down, but if somebody's really intent on defrauding you, they're going to find a way to do it.
They're going to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. And so we have trainings and systems in place to protect you as best as we can. But when you're in this kind of situation, you're going to see that. Now, what's interesting is that, let's say that you have a guy who is intent on fraud and he is doing this 30 sales kind of a thing. It actually doesn't affect your rank. Yeah, it sucks on the back end, but you're going to get your product back that you purchased, and you have ranking benefit. You might feel a little slimy.
Yeah. You feel a little dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know that I enjoyed that. But at the end of the day, you're getting your inventory back, and it's not just hanging out in some Amazon warehouse somewhere, right? It's actually you can get it back into your system and be able to sell it again to an organic purchase because you are now ranked and positioned for success. So Good question. And I'm happy to come back and talk advanced strategies as well, because there's so many things that you can and go.
Well, we may have to have you on a webinar with the Celozo users and just show hey, you can do PPC, but there's also things you can do outside of PPC to help.
Well, and this should be done with PPC. It's not an either or. It's a hey, together we succeed, right? Mm-hmm. And the benefit of running, when you are running PPC with a search find by campaign, is that you're lowering your cost per click, basically, because all those people are going to go to the sponsored ad instead of looking for the organic listing. They're going to go take the shortcut, and your sponsored ad costs are going to drop as well. So there's some interesting opportunities for combining forces with PPC.
This has been good. Been good stuff.
Yay, good.
So Chris and I are doing a project right now. It's called Operation Launch. We're launching a product from scratch. Opening an account. We may have to set this up, Chris.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not going to do my own.
We might
love it.
Yeah, we might have to bring you in on our project we're doing, because that would be a great. Just help the launch out a ton.
Yeah. If you want to bring me in on keyword strategy, that to me is one of the most important things that you can do. Chatbots are just marketing tools. If you pick garbage strategy and plug that into your campaign, what are you going to get back out, guys?
Garbage.
Yes. And so like keyword strategy is really important. And then of course your traffic strategy. So I'm happy to come on and do some keyword training, some Facebook ad training. We'll do it all. We'll do it all.
Love it. Yeah,
this
we will definitely.
Obvious. This is probably obvious, but can you use QR codes? Like if I do an insert and I put a QR code on my insert, can I use Easybot with the QR code?
Oh, well, just let me share. Let me just share my screen again, guys.
Yes.
All right. Can you see? We see the cellulite green.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go back to the dashboard here and click on Create Campaign, and you're going to see that we already have 2 product inserts ready to go here.
Yep.
So depending on the product, are you guys telling people? Have you already like revealed what the product is?
We have not.
We haven't not yet.
All right. So basically when it comes down to it, and I have a whole training I do about product inserts as well. So we can talk about that. We can definitely like come back on and do some future training, because bottom line, there's 2 things that you have to have in place for product insert success. The first is to be seen, and the second is to be compelling. So you have to interrupt that unboxing experience and not just be part of the throwaway experience. That's like the first step. And the second step is to be compelling. And so we can talk about compelling offers and those kinds of things. But at the end of the day, these 2, like basically like either a giveaway contest or what we call a free product via coupon code. It could be a discount. It's basically like, hey, scan this code and get like 20% off your next purchase, 50% off, 100% off, however it is you want to position this. And we have these 2, product inserts built into Easybot that are ready to go and basically connect to what I would recommend, Chris, is like a QR code builder. You take your messenger ref URL. And I know that I'm talking shop here, but you basically take your messenger ref URL that is populated for you by Easybot, give you that URL, and then you take that and you plug that into a QR code builder.
Got it.
Yep. And then you print that on your product insert, your package.
Boom, and the people get it, they scan it, and now they're in the flow.
Yes.
Perfect. Love that stuff. This is the kind of stuff I love. It's like the marketing side. I don't care about the analytics. I don't want to look at the analytics. Someone else.
Right. Boring. So this is back to what I was saying early on. Marketing is sexy. It's fun. It's interesting, but it's also distracting, and it can also be really expensive. And so that's why we've boiled the ocean, guys. We boiled it down to like the key things that are most important to know and understand, and that are getting you results. People ask me, they're like, Is this really work? And I'm like,
go try it on your own first.
I've been doing this for like 5 years, right? Like I would quit tomorrow. If Amazon tomorrow was like, I don't know, change something, I would quit. I would just be like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to like go out and preach and tell you guys to do something that's going to put your accounts in jeopardy. That's not going to be effective for what you're trying to accomplish. So anyway, I would love to come back and we can talk keyword research. We can talk traffic. We can talk product insert strategies. We can do like a live setup, Chris or Dustin, where you guys setting it up yourselves.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on. It's been an absolute blast. And you've mentioned it already, but I mean, all anybody has to do right now is go to easybot.com and get started, right?
Yeah, it's open.
That's it.
Go have fun. Go launch. Your first launch is only $1.
That's awesome. Yeah, I encourage everyone listening who's in the launch phase to absolutely do this, or any phase.
Right. It's great for mean, primary use is re-ranking campaigns. You launch once, but you re-rank. But re-ranking is forever.
Yeah, I love it. Yep. Oh, Michelle, thanks so much for coming on. We really enjoyed it, and we will schedule you to get back on again. There's so much more to talk about. Obviously, the space changes all the time, but we'll definitely get you back on. And everyone who's listening, thanks for tuning in. If you like content like this, if you like hearing amazing people like Michelle, make sure you subscribe to the podcast that you're listening to right now. If you're watching us live, we're live on Solozo's Facebook page and Solozo's YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to those as well. You can turn on notifications, get notified when we go live so you can watch the videos. We love doing this. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Michelle, for joining us, and we'll see everyone next time.
Okay, thanks guys. Bye-bye.